and welcome to the brand new episode of the OpEdia podcast with your boy solomonokukuwafua as your host. Yeah, I'm the founder of the thesowpodcastnetwork. If you're wondering what so means, is basically the capital letters for my three full names. Yes, like I said again, solomonokukuwafua. Those are my names, and I'm going to be your host once again for the OpEdia podcast. Of course, today is going to be a very interesting topic, focusing on something which is going to give you information and at the same time inspire you to really better your life. And even though you don't see it immediately, but I know as you work towards it, it's going to reach there sooner. Yeah, so that's what we're sharing with you today. Of course, if you don't know what the OpEdia podcast is all about, it's all about the world of personal opinion, just as the way you see in the newspapers where people who write op-eds are giving their opinions on the news stories that interest them, which they want it to be shared with the wider audience. But in my case, it's going to be on this type of platform, which is of course in form of podcast, either as a video and as audio, for something for you guys to download and discuss it with your loved ones, or even debate and have something that can carry along as your daily basis. And that's the purpose of this podcast, and I hope you guys also have your own opinions, because it's not just about me. This podcast is for you to be able to talk about it, discuss with your loved ones, and at the same time have your own take on it and make a difference in the society that you're living in, wherever you are around the world. So once again, thank you to everybody, whoever is watching me right now, or who is listening to me right now, wherever you are around the world, whatever time zone, whatever you're doing. I hope that with these 30 minutes that the episode is going to take is something that is worth blessing you and inspiring you to better life, because everybody has to make a difference in the society. We are not brought here to be beating around the bush, or just be quiet and be a passerby for others, or even be a distraction. We're all brought here to make meaning for ourselves, and at the same time realizing our full potential, and using information like this type of podcast that I'm giving you to be able to inspire you and make sure that you better your lives as the way I'm trying to better mine, because at the end of it all, we all have to die empty and not with the potential which has been implanted in us. So that's the whole purpose of this podcast. And so today is going to be very interesting. At the same time, I hope it's going to answer most of your questions. As you can remember, in the previous episode, I was talking about the millennial and the Zoomer billionaires, where I was focusing on which billionaires belong to the millennial generation, and I gave you a list of examples of those who belong to that cohort. And then, of course, the one and only Gen Z billionaire, which I mentioned to you, the names and how the person got the wealth from. So it's going to be similar to that part, but of a different kind. So today I named this episode called the 21 Black Billionaires for 21st Century Motivation. I am repeating, the 21 Black Billionaires for 21st Century Motivation. Now, why have I come up with this title? It's because out of the 21, 15 of them are currently in the Forbes magazine, 15 billionaires, and 6 are out of it due to a number of reasons, which I'm going to share with you later on. But as of right now, for the 21st century, there are only 21 black billionaires who have really jumped into the Forbes billionaire ranks, and of course 6 of them being dropped out due to number of reasons, and 15 of them being in the list. So today's focus is going to be on black billionaires and how they reached where they reached. And I hope that for those of you who are wondering how many black billionaires are there in this one, yes, most of you are maybe talking about the African billionaires, which is okay. But why saying black billionaires? Black billionaires are basically billionaires who are purely having African origin, and they know their ancestry. So it doesn't matter where you live in the diaspora, either you live in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, or even in the Americas. So long as you know your true identity, which is of course Africa to be specific, then you are considered a black billionaire. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. And just before I go any further, I just want to appreciate everybody that has been with me throughout this journey so far. It's still baby steps. I know I've just done a few episodes, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue pushing for more content, make sure you guys are well informed, well inspired, and at the same time hope to hear testimonies from some of you because of the result of giving you such information, to be able to better your own lives and even have your own take on what I've been sharing with you. So that's what I'll be talking about: the 21 black billionaires for 21st century motivation. Of course, out of the 21, 15 are billionaires. So without further ado, let me go ahead and start it. And just before I start, once again, I hope that this will not be something worth wasting your time, because I'm sure most of you will want to really better your lives, and you need information like this to really inspire you. So yeah, either you're watching me or listening to me right now, make sure that after this episode is done, you download it, or if you don't want to download it due to financial reasons, you can listen to it, maybe use your Wi-Fi, or at the same time, if you have some money that you can really spend, do so, and make sure that you listen to it or you watch it. And then if you feel it's worth the download, do so, and you love it for generations to come. Yeah, so let's go ahead and dwell into this topic. So of course, like I said at the beginning, 21 billionaires from the 21st century since the year 2000, which of course means the millennium. The millennium begins in 2001. For those of you who don't know the meaning of that millennium means 1,000 years, which begins from 2001, since we're in the second one. So the second millennium starts in 2001. And of course, the first ever black billionaire, somebody with pure chocolate or brown skin and knows the ancestry from Africa very well. The first black billionaire, came in 21 years ago. That's in 2001, by the name of Bob Johnson, which of course you all know very well is the founder of BET alongside his ex-wife Sheila. And that network became the first black-owned company to go public, a decade after its launch, being publicly traded, meaning that the shares belong to the public. Then I think a decade after that, it was sold to Viacom, and as you all know, right now BET is under Viacom. It's already a big subsidiary with different outlets like BET Plus, BET Hair, BET Gospel, BET Hip Hop, BET Soul, even BET Africa, to say the least. But that's basically a whole big branch under Viacom, which now is no longer called Viacom, because back then when BET was publicly traded and it was sold to it, Viacom was separate from CBS, and right now Viacom CBS is the new name, which of course the merger happened in 2019 towards 2020, and so that's how it is. And until today, BET is the largest black-owned media network, not just in the US but throughout the world, because this one is reaching out to the UK, reaching to Africa, also to the EU region, and even to South America and the like. So that's how big it is. And for him, he's no longer on the list, but he became the pioneer black billionaires, which of course I'll be telling you the other 20 that have followed suit. Now also in that same year, you had another black billionaire called Michael Liching, who is of course of Caribbean and African origin, and of course his source of wealth is on different industries like hospitality, real estate, and telecom. So that's how he made his money. But until today, he's still on the list. If you do your research, and yeah, he's really making some money, so to speak, if you look at the real-time rankings. So those two became the first black billionaires on the Forbes list, according to its definition by Wikipedia. And then along the way, in 2002, a year after, another one jumped into the ranks. That is Mohammed Al-Ahmadi, who is of course of mixed races, both an Arab and Ethiopian. And as you all know, Ethiopia is one of the very few countries in the world to never be colonized by a foreign country. And if you look at its history of people who came from that country, I mean, they're blessed. And for someone like him to be having the origin from that country is really incredible. And what he has done in the business world, I'm sure since he's mostly known in the Middle East, should be all about oil and real estate and tourism. So that's how he made his billions, and that's where he is today. But according to the list, if you check on it now, it's no longer there due to the corruption scandal that affected all Saudi billionaires some years back, including one of the members of the royal family. And yeah, it has costed them a lot and are jailed for it, which of course some say it wasn't deserved because of the false evidence, fake news that is being spread around. And that doesn't take away the fact that he joined the Forbes magazine list in 2002 as a billionaire of black origin. And then a year after that, it was Oprah Winfrey being the first black woman to become a billionaire. Of course, if you had to know how she reached there, is through one of the longest running talk shows in TV history, which is called the Oprah Winfrey Show, which she has done it for more than I believe more than 30 years, and it has given her some good sales. At the same time, a lot of money that she can put in a deep pocket, and that's how she made it. And even as she grew that show, she was able to launch her own TV network, her own media company, and even start her own foundation, which one of them is located in South Africa for education. And I'm sure the Mandela family are aware of it wherever they are. And she has really helped a lot for education, and herself being from a disadvantaged family, background, but that didn't stop her to be where she is right now. It's all a matter of mentality, and until today, she's still on the Forbes list of billionaires, and she's one of the most powerful women in the world. Yeah, so never take that for granted. And then, moving forward all the way to 2008, three more came in. Those are the likes of Aliko Dangote, Patrice Motsepe, and Mo Ibrahim. Now, for the first two, Aliko Dangote, Patrice Motsepe, now those has became the first black African billionaires. Now, Aliko Dangote is Nigerian, Patrice Motsepe is South African. Now, for Aliko Dangote, he is the only African billionaire worth $10 or more billion in net worth. And at the same time, Patrice Motsepe is now the president of African football, or to say it exactly, Confederation of African Football, or CAF. So he's the president of CAF, and he has been there right now for little more than a year, and he has really done a lot so far. So I don't want to speak negative about him. I mean, he has done a lot for African football. But before he joined the football world, he was of course a mining mogul, basically focusing on gold and other minerals. And at the same time, he has his foundation, which is also based in South Africa, and his wife is part of the Ramaphosa family. So I believe that's something worth seriously taking note. Meaning this man is one of the most powerful people in Africa. To look from the look of things. If you look at Aliko Dangote, yeah, it's basically focusing on the manufacturing industry and also real estate and telecom. And his company is publicly listed in Nigeria, and there's even a time where he was close to buying Arsenal. Of course, Stanley Kroenke threw that aside and just said, I'm still going to own Arsenal no matter what. Yeah, so that's for the two of them. And then Mo Ibrahim is the man behind the famous indexes which he has created to measure the quality of standards across the world, but mostly focusing on Africa. It is to do with corruption, it is to do with ease of business and so forth, even peace. Be able to showcase the world that with this index that I've created is going to give you some kind of bigger picture and a better perspective on how these nations are living, and that's what he's known for. And at the same time, he has a foundation called the Ibrahim Foundation, which I'm sure most of you know him for different philanthropic activities. So that's how he came into the fold. And then a year later, in 2009, Femi Otedola joined the ranks, the billionaire ranks. He's of course from Nigeria, and yeah, he's similar to Aliko Dangote, manufacturing industry, more to do with the real estate. So it's similar to that direction. And then moving forward to 2011, Mike Adenuga has also joined the billionaire ranks. Similar industries where they make their wealth. So I don't want to even dwell much. And then you go into 2013, you have Isabel Dos Santos. She became the second woman billionaire in the Forbes magazine to ever join it. Of course, she's the daughter of the former Angolan president, who's called Jose Dos Santos, who is no longer reigning in the country. And just in the recent past, she was convicted for corruption, fraud, money laundering, and other financial related crimes. And right now she's no longer on the list because of that case that is ongoing. And then moving forward to 2014, another woman joined the billionaire ranks from the black community. That is Folorunsho Alakija, who is of Nigerian origin, native. And yeah, for her it's also similar to the other billionaires I mentioned earlier on, where it's all about the manufacturing industry and real estate, and that's how she is able to join the ranks. She's no longer there currently. If you go to the real-time rankings on the Forbes.com website, because maybe her business somehow dipped in fortunes, but she's still making profits and sales and so forth, but she's no longer there on the list. Another person who joined her in that same year is Abdul Samad Rabiu, who is of course behind his own conglomerate where it's mostly focusing on manufacturing, real estate, and telecom there in Nigeria. I think most Nigerian billionaires are mostly focusing on the manufacturing industry, and the manufacturing industry has helped Nigeria a lot in terms of boosting the economy and giving more people jobs, and I pray that they continue doing so, because they are really blessing lives, touching lives, and helping the government in many ways possible. And then going into 2016, which is 2 years after that, 3 people joined. That is Robert Smith, that is Strive Masiyiwa, and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan I'll explain a bit more about how he joined in. Yeah, for Robert Smith, he's the person behind FedEx, along with others, mostly black people. And you all know FedEx is known for delivery of goods and parcels to different locations in return for paying the delivery man or the delivery woman. And the more often they do that, the more money they make, and that's how he made his wealth and joined there. And you look at Strive Masiyiwa, this man's from Zimbabwe. He's the man behind Econet Zimbabwe, which is a telecom company in that same country, and he was also behind the defunct Kwese Media, which used to be rivals with MultiChoice, and StarTimes, and all these big media companies in Africa, only to shut it down. And now everybody is just talking about MultiChoice, which you all know is a big media company behind GoTV, which is behind DSTV and SuperSport. So, but before that, he has a telecom company, that is Econet. But until today, Econet still exists, and I believe is the largest telecom company in Zimbabwe. But he stays in the UK and he's still on the list till today. And look at Michael Jordan. I don't need any explanation. We all know him. Former NBA player, considered a GOAT, according to the sources that you love following. He's considered a GOAT. He has really impacted the game during his heydays. And I think right now for almost 20 years he has now focused on doing business uh, related activities. But even when he was a player, he had already started his own business, which is the Jordan brand. We all know very well for the shoes, and with the endorsement deals he used to do during his career, and saving that as an investment, only to find a good opportunity to be able to now uh, launch it into the deep, and look at where it is right now. The Jordan brand is being used all over in different industries of scale, and it has given him the deep pocket to be able to keep it wherever he always keeps it. And by the way, shout out to him. I really love him, and I know that what he has done for the sport of basketball and every other sport that he loves, especially when he launched his new team in NASCAR, whereby Baba Wallace, the only black driver in NASCAR, is part of his team. And I hope that if I'm not wrong, there's also a female driver, the only female black driver. I don't know if she's still active. I can't remember her name, but she's still on the roster in NASCAR. I hope that Michael Jordan will enroll her into his team and make sure that you have Baba Wallace and a black female driver be able to lead his team and win many trophies. So that's what he's known for. He's known for the Jordan brand and the teams he owns, and not forgetting he owns the Charlotte Hornets. Right now he has been the owner of that team for more than for almost a decade, or little more than that. And before that, part of the ownership group had Nelly, who we all know is a legendary rapper, only to sell his minority stake to Michael Jordan, who is now the outright majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets. And you all know very well the stars of that team is Miles Bridges, LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, and company. So that's what Charlotte Hornets are doing. And as of now, the Charlotte Hornets are fighting for the playoff spots. If you go to NBA.com, then you'll see what he has done. And ever since he became the majority owner, Charlotte Hornets have gone through hills and valleys, but at the end, they are stabilized and they are still fighting for that playoff spot, which is going to be a good year for them. And then moving forward all the way to 2019, there are 3 people that joined the ranks. That was David Stewart, Jay-Z, and Alex Carp. Now, David Stewart is known for founding Worldwide Technology, which of course is a technology company focusing on internet infrastructure, internet logistics, software technology, and so forth. And did you know that David Stewart is the minority owner of the NHL franchise called the St. Louis Blues? I think it's either related to his roots, his origins, or he just bought it just to make sure he has some side hustles to add on to his wealth. But that's what I know about him, and I had written down in my notes. And if you look at Jay-Z, oh my goodness, aka Sean Carter, man, this man has impacted the music and entertainment and sports industry in many ways. And Jay-Z, of course, from a hustler and drug baron slash is now a billionaire. It all started with him selling drugs. Then he left that type of business, started Rockefeller with 2 others, including Damon Dash and Karim Buck, only for the company, after having good success in the late 90s to the early 2000s, they sold it to Def Jam. Jay-Z became president, and as you know it, along the way, he started Rock Nation, and right now, he's basically doing a lot of good. I mean, I don't want to really say negative things about him, but that's who he is. Especially recently, I just started following Rock Nation Sports because I'm a sports geek, a sports fanatic, a sports lover, and I love following such things. And just I think last year it launched Rock Nation Sports International, where it's branched in London in the UK, and Jay-Z was present when it launched, and he has given a wider fan base in terms of the clientele, because Jay-Z is also a certified sports agent, and he has been like that for a number of years right now, and he's even one of the most powerful sports agents in the world. I mean, his clientele ranges from NFL to NBA to MLB to soccer, even cricket and rugby from uh, different parts of the world. From Africa, you have clients like Sia Kolisi, Samuel Chukwueze, even Romelu Lukaku, even though he's Belgian but he's of Congolese origin. You have clients like Kevin De Bruyne, Skylar Diggins Smith, Robinson Kano, Lamelo Ball. Those are his clients, and he doesn't do it alone. He has a team of representatives who are doing it for him, contract negotiations and so forth. Yeah, so he has both Rock Nation Sports, which is based in the US, focusing in North America, and then you have Rock Nation Sports International, which is basically focusing on different continents of the world. Yeah, and I really love his work ethic and how he reached where he reached today, and that's why he's one of the most powerful people in the entertainment business. Then one more, Alex Kapp, the founder of Palantir Technology. Of course, he's a technology company, more so to do like the way David Stewart is doing, and that's how he able to jump in. And of course, he's a man of mixed races, one which is African, the other one being Caribbean, and also American. And then you jump into 2020, you have Kanye West and Tyler Perry. Kanye West and Tyler Perry, I don't need more introduction. Kanye West, of course, is a rapper who was basically Dame Dash's first signing when Rockefeller was still existing. Then, of course, when all these conflicts of interest happened at that same company, the company was sold to Def Jam. Jay-Z took Kanye instead of Dame Dash. Then Kanye, along the way, was under Def Jam. Then few years after joining it, he started Good Music, which is his record label, signed a number of artists, made created a huge roster of stars, and until today he's still making profits, even though now he has branched into other industries like starting his own fashion line, started his own sneaker brand called the Yeezys, and that's how he was able to reach where he is right now. And even his music catalog being put on different platforms, that's how he's able to make his money. And you all know him very well. He used to be the husband to Kim Kardashian, whom they have children together, but they are no longer together, but I'm sure they share child custody among them. Now look at Tyler Perry. Of course, you all know him for the Madea character, which made him to be who he is today, and he's also responsible for owning the largest land in the country, or should I say the largest film studio by an independent person. And look at what it has done for him. Now he has his own production company. He has deals with BET, and even has minority stake in BT Plus, and he has done a lot for both BET networks and his production company. And he has also launched many shows, many Broadway shows through his production company, and everybody really gives him props for what he has done. This is a man, of course, from a disadvantaged family background, and he didn't allow that to reach his current status. So never in doubt that where you came from is not where you're supposed to be today. So don't focus on your yesterday, live in today and focus on your tomorrow. So that should be your food for thought. And then 2021, which was last year, Rihanna joined the ranks. We all know very well Rihanna coming from Barbados, signed by Jay-Z, Rock Nation, launched a number of albums, made money, did concerts. Along the way, she started her own fashion line, and that's how it made her to be a billionaire. And even through her music catalog, put on different platforms, that's how she made her money, and she became a billionaire. And just the other day, she was recognized by the Barbados Prime Minister after Barbados gained independence from the UK not long ago. And yeah, Rihanna became the first honorary recipient to be in the National Roll of Honor for her contributions to the country and making sure that that country is well known over the world because of her hard work and a very positive work ethic. So those are your 21 black billionaires, either presently on the Forbes list or not, but I hope that this has given you inspiration on how to better your life or how to get started. And by the way, two facts came into my mind before I close this episode. Number one, did you know that all these black billionaires were self-made, not inherited, meaning most of their families were either poor or they started doing it on their own, even though they were advantaged, but all of them are self-made. And then number two, Elon Musk is of African origin, and as soon as Forbes magazine releases its 2022 list, he's going to be the richest man. Now, he joined this list a decade ago when he was worth 2 billion. Now, do you know where he is currently? He is number one, and is 100 times more net worth than what he had a decade ago. So that should be your extra points to note. Otherwise, that is it. Thank you everybody for watching me. Thank you to everyone who is listening to me. I hope this episode has inspired you. If you want to have it repeatedly, download it, listen to it or watch it, and share it with others. And I hope you start from somewhere, and very soon you become a member of that exclusive group, because that is what the duty of this podcast is all about. Otherwise, have a great day until the next episode.